Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Dusty. We're here to turn around and, well, admire the trees outside of my home. After all, it's fall, got beautiful coloring and leaves. Always enjoy the outside, especially during the fall time of year. It's getting cooler outside, not having to worry about getting too hot or feeling like you're going to turn around and have a heat stroke. And usually can breathe a little bit better as well. Air's not too thick from the humidity and pollen that's trying to attack you after jumping off the trees. So, we're here to turn around and actually draw a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween. The video is getting ready to change over to the drawing. Just wanted to share the beautiful images outside. So, I turn around and I use the Master Touch sketchpad paper. That is the paper I use. In just a few seconds, you're going to see. This is one of the first videos I've actually ever spoke on, so please bear with me. I am new to it. Have to get used to the speed of the videos. So as I said, Master's Touch Sketchpad is the paper I'm using. You can use pretty much any paper you want. Sometimes I even use some cardstock, just depending on the style of drawing that I'm going with. So I'm going to try to make it where you can turn around and follow along while I draw, and that way if you want to draw as well, feel free to. The pencil is just one of those automatic pencils that well, has already the built-in lead in it, and you just click on it. The lid comes out for you. Sorry, right in a second. Don't remember the name of the pencils, or even the brand that I have. It's just one of one of the cheaper brands that you get at like a dollar store. So, for the first few minutes, what we'll be doing is just sketching out the drawing that we're doing. Now, while I sketch, or while I record my voice after the fact of doing the sketching, I'll turn around and let you just watch. Mostly. Well, as you can tell, I'm actually still learning. Yeah, maybe you can all get a good laugh out of everything. So, this is well, the base shape for our jack-o'-lantern. And, yeah, it may not be the perfect circle, but often pumpkins are actually not always that rounded. They're not always that perfect of a circle. So everybody can turn and choose how they want to do that specific shape. I drew this very loosely. I turn around and don't use a lot of, well, shape, rulers and the things that turn and give you the shapes. And yes, everybody can laugh at me and all because I don't know the names right off. As I said, this is one of the first times I've done the video where I've actually talked on it, so Gotta get used to everything. I've posted a few videos, but none like this before. So, and sorry about some of the scenes. How I had to film it, well, I had to hold the camera in one hand while I did the drawing. So right this second, I'm actually working on the shape of the mouth. You can tell I've already done the lines for the extra for basically doing some shadowing, and just shape definition. Now I'm on the eyes, and well, jack-o'-lantern is just like a actual jack-o'-lantern that you do with the pumpkins. Pretty much you can do them any shape you want. Now, as you can tell, my eye on the right side of the page is not symmetrical, I would say. But that's actually going to be fixed as well. I may not be symmetrical, but I do erase a little extra in this drawing. So, as you can tell, I'm an artist. I do eventually have to erase things. Sometimes it actually really depends on how you like it. If you don't care, or if you've sometimes it just actually comes just out right the way you want it right at the beginning. Now, to go ahead and let you know, I chose that not to put an actual nose on this jack-o'-lantern. I know some jack-o'-lanterns have noses, but I've actually seen a couple jack-o'-lanterns that didn't even have a face. They turned around and did a drawing of a bat or a cat or any other number of items on it. So I'm doing semi-traditional jack-o'-lantern design with the pumpkin face supposed to be a little bit scary. As I said before, sorry, some of the times when I looked at the drawing, I looked away from the camera where I was aiming it and ended up being on the whole opposite side. Now, this right here is the stem area that I've started drawing. When I went into drawing this, I was actually thinking almost like spikes. I wanted to give it a little bit of a different look. Granted, I ended up going a little bit more still because I wanted it to look like an actual stem on a pumpkin. I just wanted it to have that specific angle that made it look like it was a spiky hairdo. But as I go along, the shape continues to change just a tad. So, now feel free, of course, if you're watching this and you do actually want to follow along, feel free to turn around and pause the video. I know that a lot of videos on here that deal with how-tos to do the drawing stuff, a lot of times you see them and they turn around and, well, they look a little different than what I've got right here. It's just, this is just actually my style of drawing. I do different kinds of styles all the time, so sometimes I just do actual sketches, sometimes I do an inking without even an underdrawing. Now, to go ahead and let you know, I will also be inking this because I wanted to have that look as if it were, well, as is an inked picture. Now, I can't promise that my talking is equal with the video, as I'm recording this voiceover, my video is also lagging in and out just a little bit. So, oh, and also I hope you can hear the little bit of music in the background. I turn around and, well, I guess it's not necessarily music, but I put a tune in there anyway, so that way it wouldn't be dull without some kind of sound, because I removed all the sound, the background sound from the video, because I didn't want to record the voice right that minute. I wanted to turn and have a little bit of time to get it properly, or get it the way I was hoping to get it anyway. Now, I've turned and darkened everything. I know I said I was going to be doing inking, but somewhat I darkened because at the moment in time when I did this, there were just things I wanted to look and see what it looked like with a darker tone. And a little bit extra shape. Now you can see that the eyes are starting to look a little similar. But freehand, sometimes freehand, that's what happens. And I'm sure that if people will try and start writing a bunch of comments, yes, I know everybody will probably tell me that there's hundreds of ways to do this. And I've seen art videos, just like anybody else, I've watched some. And I won't lie, I've learned a couple tricks from watching some of them. But I also learned that I just like to go with the flow sometimes and do my own thing. So now mostly the jack-o'-lantern is done. I'm almost finished with the pencil sketch. I decided to add in a vine at this point to give an extra, well, just to give an extra thing to the drawing. Pretty much I just thought it would look cool. Okay, so now we are actually into the inking phase. I finished up the regular drawing. Now, I'm using some illustration pens. I'm using a 0.1 and a brush and a 0.05 as well. As you can tell, it's 0.05. I went ahead and showed him in the video in case it didn't work as planned. So 0.05 I'm going to try and take and do pretty much all the outlining with to begin with. And then as I go up, I'm going to try and do a little bit of, well, my version of line weight. As I said, I have learned some of it. I've learned different tricks and things from watching others, but also I turn around and like to play around with it and see if I like it the way that they show, or if I like find my own little way to do it. So my version of line weight might not be exactly as you see on somebody else's channel. But, you know, every person's different. Every artist has their own unique style, outlook, ideas on how to do things. So, now granted, this is a 40-something minute video. Actually, about 43 minutes, 44 minutes. Not too bad. Well, it's not my longest video. My longest video actually ended up being basically a 2-hour, really close to a 2-hour music, where I turned and just did a small little 12, 15-second tune. And I know people are going to be yelling, it's not really a song. I'm not going to discriminate. It's not a song. It's just a little tune that I wanted to make. I plan on, as I go along, actually putting in some of the videos, but I try and make these real quick tunes for the Halloween videos. I decided I wanted something a little bit Well, in my opinion, it sounds kind of Halloween-like. But it is my opinion. And everybody else is going to have theirs. I can hope that everybody who's watching this is enjoying the video so far. As you can tell, I'm just doing the outside line weights. Or the outside sketching of the lines. Making minor changes here or there. And you may not be able to tell because the camera is moving a little extra. But in all honesty, my hand actually does shake sometimes. I turn around and I don't shake too bad, but sometimes I do shake. My hand is... I always hold the pen just a tad tighter than I probably need to, or the pencils. And yes, the vine does look a little bit more like a ribbon, but as I go along, I'm going to make adjustments so that it'll look a little bit more like a vine. Or at least the version of vine that I went with. Now, in case anybody's actually wondering, I am... Well, actually, now I'm starting to do the hash marks. I won't lie, it's been a day or two since I actually did the drawing, so I remember doing it, but I had to turn around and get the timing correct as I'm recording my voiceover. I'm actually just having to watch it as I go along. If you do hear any background noise, I'm going to do my best to make sure that it's pretty much out of the video. There's not much I can do about that. Every computer does something weird. So, hope everybody that's watching this is doing well. Everything's a little different. So, tell you what, I'll be right back in just a minute. I'm not gonna quit recording, but I'm gonna wait just a minute and come back and start talking again in a second. Okay, I'm back now. Just checking on some stuff. Turn around and still turn around doing basically a little hatching. Now I will say I have actually watched some of the YouTube artists, and actually I guess I should actually say that they're the professional comic book artists and all. And yes, I know they probably would be somewhat screaming about how I do my hash marks. They're not always equally spaced or even straight or in the correct curves. It sometimes doesn't look like that when I'm doing it. But actually, I usually like how it turns out for me. Even though it doesn't look exactly, it just turns out the way I want it to. Or most of the time, anyway. So, hopefully, if anybody is actually trying to follow along and do this, hopefully yours is coming out as well as you would like it to as well, also. And so everybody understands, as you hear me talking, sometimes I take breaks as I say something, and sometimes what I say breaks. Well, I have not made any kind of notes or anything for what I was going to say. I'm just going with the flow. And I can be honest, right now, you might be thinking the flow has got up and went. uh, just a joke from something from one of the TV shows or something that I've watched. May not be very funny to everybody else. I always thought it was hilarious, at least when they, in the area in which they used it. But I don't want them to be screaming copyright. Granted, I don't really think that that should be in there, but you know, who knows? I do understand the copyrights on some parts. So, let's just see. Let's just hope that I can do my best not to have to worry about that. Now, I've almost got the lines where I want them for the hash marks, as long as I remember my timeline correctly. Most likely when you see sometimes, and then I move the camera over, I'm probably either working on the vine or something, and hopefully the video is coming out kind of clear. Is coming out a little bit clearer. I can't guarantee. I'm not using a professional video camera, or I don't have the different things that a lot of the YouTubers have right now. I don't have those things. I'm fairly new to YouTube. I've been on it for about a year now, doing videos on and off. I've only got about 8 videos. This will be my ninth or 10th, depending on whether or not this one comes on before I put the next video on. Either way, I have 2 Halloween videos. This one right here is my hand art, or hand drawing, doing inking, sketching. I call it hand art, but it's just the physical art that you have a physical piece of paper, pencil, pen with. The next one you'll be seeing will also, I mean, I can tell you, it's going to be a jack-o'-lantern as well, but I'm going to be doing it on the computer. It's going to be digital art. I'm going to be doing one on using the Blender application. And fair warning, I do know how to use it. I don't always use the shortcuts, and for all those who actually are on YouTube that use them, yes, I know. There's hundreds of shortcuts. You can speed it up, and I'm going to be honest, that video is definitely going to be a 2-hour video. Give or take, like, maybe 1 minute. Well, I guess it could end up being 10 minutes, but it just depends on how it goes as I do the voiceover for it as well. Because I am going to start trying to do that now in my videos. Occasionally, I might just do a video where I'm just doing a quick sketch. For anybody who turns and looks at my past videos and sees some of the ones that are only done in 6 minutes, I'm doing landscape drawings or landscape inking. Actually, most of those, the ones that are only 5 minutes to 6 minutes, those are actually real time. I just sketched them that quickly because that's what I was doing. I was using the pen to sketch them basically instead of using a pencil. Don't get me wrong, I have done the pencil underline before as well. So, but I'm going to try and I am going to use one line from one of the people. Hope they don't turn and yell about copyright. I never know when they're going to say anything about that because I have watched other YouTubers and they turn around, they'll talk about it, and then you wonder when they're going to try and say something about it. So I'm just going to try and put it like this. I actually loved watching Bob Ross. I'm not that old. I'm not that old to go ahead and tell everybody because sometimes you might hear me say something that sounds like I'm referring to myself as being older than I am. So what I was getting ready to say and why I gave fair warning is that, when I watched it as a kid, granted I am in my 20s now. I'm not gonna, I guess, bore you with my actual age right now. So, either way, I am in my 20s. And I used to watch it though when I was a kid. I'd actually get up very early and watch the reruns of that they put it on TV. I always enjoyed his line about the happy little accidents, the happy little trees. Didn't make it, he couldn't really make any mistakes. It just ended up working out. So that does kind of go with how I do some drawing. Now, as you can tell, the 0.05 pin is done. Gonna go to the next size that I chose to try and just give a little bit of a line weight. And I'm circling around to the 0.1. Yes. Please don't worry. My sense of humor may not be as funny to everybody else, but I can't exactly describe everything that goes through my mind when I'm doing this. So, anyway, hopefully people aren't flipping out from talking yet. As I said, this is the first time I've ever done talking on the video. Oh, well, I could say that I've probably said this about 15 times now. As you can tell, definitely have not turned around and noted any of this down, made a script or anything to follow. I didn't even have a clue where I'd begin trying to do a script, so that's why there's no script. I just decided to go with the flow, see how it works out. As long as nobody's screaming at me. Okay. Now I'm turning, and of course I'm doing the line weights, and I'm wanting to make it going darker lines around the edges of the mouth, the eyes, and other areas. I'll also be doing that. So now, of course, you can also color these. Now, I did not do a marker or anything in this. I could have, but I find that the particular sketchpad paper I use is good for things like color pencils. And yes, I have done some color pencil art as well. But that's not what I went with this one. It works good with inks, but I decided not to try any markers. I actually tried markers a few times with this specific paper. I don't like how it bleeds through, so it just bleeds through pretty easy on this paper. So I don't really like using the markers, water or alcohol based on it. Now I have done that. You're not going to see those particular pictures or videos on here, not yet. I haven't done a video where I've shown that style of art yet. If you want to see that kind of, want to see some of my samples of my colored art and my other arts, which I won't lie, I do a lot of inking style because I just find it really interesting and just really enjoy it, and I almost treat it as if it's painting. So you can turn around and tell that I turn around and if you actually see how I do some of it, you'll see that it looks like I am painting in a way. But what I was going to turn around and actually say is that my, well, you know what, I did lose track of where I'm at. I'm turning around, actually focusing on how I did the drawing and all. And to try and tell you exact fact, exactly what they would tell you, a lot of people tell you. As an artist, you, most of the time, as the artist that's doing the art, we are our worst critics. So, but actually, I don't mind how this turned out. But I'm not. Hopefully, nobody thinks I'm trying to sound. There's always things I try and change. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, look at me. I'm definitely not one to be cocky sounding, because it could easily turn around, mess up, and at any moment in time. Ah, now I'm back to where I was. Now I'm back on track. Now I know where I was talking about. If you want to see any of my art where I have some of the colored, I actually have I sell some of it on Charleston Art Market. So you just go to charlestonartmarket.com and you can just look it up over there. Just look for my name. It's Dusty Fancoat. Is what you'll look under the name for. You can also turn and go on to the Entrepreneur. There may be another way to pronounce that better, but that's the best way I can. You can look on there, same name. Just look up that, and you'll turn around and see some of my art there as well. Uh, right now on the Entrepreneur, there's no art to sell. Later, I'll have it set up where I'll be doing the sales as well. However, right this minute, that isn't that's not what I'm doing on there. Now, as you can tell, I've tried to do like a little bit of a shadow look. That's what I was doing with the line weight. So I mean, like I said, I do use the line weight. Try to use it exactly like they talk about. Now, you can do a more picture. You can turn and add more to the picture. I literally put all the time working into the pumpkin and just doing the inking for that. You can do anything. I actually did think about doing other things, but as I went along, I just liked what I had, and I decided not to add on to the picture because I do believe that you can overthink it sometimes. You can turn around and think that you need to add more in, and then once you really get there, you're just like, well, but if I add more in, yes, it could bring it to a whole new level, or you could actually overpower the part that you're trying to do. So, in this case, on this picture, I decided to stick with what I was doing. So I decided to make it look like a pumpkin. And yes, I do add something else in. In a minute, you'll see a couple more additions as I go along. Well, we got a little over 10 minutes left. Either way, you will see as I add a couple extra things. I know that I should be getting ready to turn around and go to the brush pen now. Now, feel free to turn around and add on to your art as much as you want and goes in depth. You can go more detail, less detail. Everybody has their own styles of it. And just depending on how I feel and what the picture is will determine what my detail will be or what I'll add in. So that right there is the end of the 0.1 pen. I'm now going to the brush. Of course, as you can gather, our brush is going to be mostly for the really deeper shadows that I decided to try and do, or if I want to add anything that makes it look like there's extra shape and designs to it. So, hopefully you'll enjoy that. Now, I will stop talking after a couple more minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. I'm going to say it out of order. There's no need to stick to tradition. Most everybody puts it at the very end. So, I'm going to go ahead and say it now, because I do have this at the end as well, but just not me talking. Please like and subscribe. And yes, I did barely get the word subscribe out. Well, you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to have fun when you're turning around and working, and this is definitely me working. I'm doing everything I can to make it work properly. But I actually do enjoy doing artwork. I love drawing, designing, and when I said that I do build, yes, I do. I don't do it as much as I turn and kind of enjoy doing it because of something my dad's taught me. That's something he's taught me is how to do some woodworking. So if anybody's interested to know what A.C.V stands for, I'll go ahead and tell you it's art, carpentry, and vehicles. No, I'm not a mechanic. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now. I decided to put the vehicle thing in because I do like vehicles. I like doing designs and even designing vehicles. And one day, if I get a chance, I will most likely even be working on the idea of building some. Now, I'm doing a very dark shadowing underneath of the pumpkin as if it's laying on the ground. Want to do that. Now, I could have added in some more shapes to turn and cover, like the actual eyes and the mouth of the pumpkin or the jack-o'-lantern to reflect, but I actually chose to not do it that way. Just my own personal preference. I just chose not to do it that way. And I've got some more details to add onto the pumpkin because I just didn't like it. Now, all this is still me using the brush. So you might think, well, why didn't I grab one of the pins again? And, well, I just chose to use the brush and turn around and give it a little more of the, what do you call it, feel. It's not the, well, anyways, make it look more realistic. Well, not realistic, but it doesn't matter how you want to put it. Organic, yes. I was wanting to make it look a little more organic. After all, in real life, most things have little dimples, holes, all kinds of stuff. You never know. The pumpkin right there could be a couple years old, but it could be, well, a couple days old, maybe not years old. Pumpkins don't usually last years when they turn around and redone that, unless it's one of those plastic jack-o'-lanterns with the lights. But this is supposed to be an actual pumpkin style jack-o'-lantern. So, yeah. I hope you can hear me really well still. I will admit my microphones and stuff are a little different than probably the more professional YouTubers. And I'm sure that this will turn around and not put me at the top viewing on YouTube. They want you to turn around and put all kinds of fancy gimmicks in, and I'm still new to this. As I go along, there's probably things I'll add in. There's things that I probably don't plan on adding in because it's just not my style. But I'm not going to worry about those things until later on as I get used to it. So either way, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I hope that if someone's drawing this, that they're going to enjoy it. I also signature all my artwork, so you'll see my signatures most of the time on the bottom. Periodically, I will do my signatures on the back of my pictures. It depends on why I'm doing them, how I'm doing them, and for whom I'm doing them. So, and as I said, you can turn and go to the Charleston Art Market, look up my name, Dustin Fancode, on there, and you can turn and see some of my pictures right there. I've got a couple of my pictures that are in color, and actually I even have one picture of photography that I picked to put on there as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to add in a moon at the upper left-hand corner. Because, like I said, I'm getting ready to go ahead and get off of this and let you finish off the video without my very interesting talking or interesting conversation. After all, this is kind of, in a way, a one-sided conversation. I can't exactly hear what y'all are thinking or saying about it. I can take wild guesses, but that doesn't actually mean anything. Some people may actually be thinking what I'm taking a wild guess that they're saying or thinking, but can't read your minds, don't have a clue. You feel free to comment, though. Like I said, maybe turn around and get a good laugh out of me just sitting here talking, because I really didn't figure that anybody wanted me to turn around and say, oh, I put dot here, one of the ink blots here, ink blot there. How-to videos are something very interesting, but mostly you don't hear too many people turn around trying to do that. So, like I said, hopefully everybody enjoyed the video. Feel free to please stay until the very end to see the overall, because I took a picture of the sketched one where it's just a pencil sketch, and then also a picture with a better view of the finished product. I hope all of you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to like, subscribe. More art will be on the way. At least that is my intentions anyway. I do different things, so you never know what'll be on there. Like I said, my one video is just me showing how I do my voice, how I do some tunes, make some tunes and stuff. So if you want to watch that and kind of get an idea on how to do it, because it is a how-to, but it's not a how-to, because, well, I want everybody to be able to enjoy and do it their way and come up with their own tune. It wouldn't be as much fun just to come up with somebody else's tune. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications to know when I'm gonna post again. I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. And well, like I said, just hope you enjoy the video. And have yourself a great and wonderful day. Can't think of anything else to say. So, talk to y'all or see y'all later. Well, sort of. Have yourself a wonderful day.